Link, the hero of time, is considered to be one of the most important and influential heroes of Hyrule, appearing in 3 games of the timeline: Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and in Twilight Princess as the hero's shade. The life of the hero of time began with a somber note, as even as a baby, his life would change forever. Hyrule was in the midst of a civil war, the land spiraling into chaos as the tribes waged war with one another for the complete control of the kingdom. From amidst the chaos, a woman, carrying her newborn baby in her arms, escaped to the Kokiri forest, the domain of the great Deku Tree. Her baby was the boy we would come to know as Link. Entrusting the care of her child to the guardian deity of the forest, Link's mother succumbed to her mortal wounds. The Deku Tree, sensing this young child would change the world, became his adoptive father and raised him as one of the Kokiri, friendly forest spirits who took on the forms of Hylian children. Link being a Hylian, he was the only one within the forest without a fairy, making him stand out from the rest and even mocked by the Kokiri such as Mido, the self-proclaimed leader of the Kokiri, especially due to his jealousy of Link and Saria's relationship. When Link was around the age of 9, a man from the desert entered the forest to speak with the Deku Tree, demanding the old deity to hand him the spiritual stone of the forest, one of the 3 kept safe by the different races of Hyrule. This man was Ganondorf, the wicked Gerudo king, who was on a mission to obtain the 3 spiritual stones that were required to open the gates of the Sacred Realm, the home of the Triforce, the mystical golden relic of the old gods. After being denied the stone, Ganondorf cursed the Deku Tree to wither away before he departed from the forest. Fearing for Hyrule's future and his life slowly fading, the Deku Tree sent the forest fairy Navi to summon Link to his presence, as it was time that the young Hylian fulfilled his destiny and became the hero he was meant to be. Navi found Link twisting and turning in his wooden bed, as he dreamt of terrible events that were to come, of Ganondorf atop a dark stallion, chasing a young maiden during a thunderstorm. Unbeknownst to Link, this dream was a premonition of events that were to come. Waking up the boy, Navi instructed him to head to the Deku Tree. After acquiring a sword and shield, Link ventured within the Deku Tree and destroyed the cause of its curse, the parasitic Queen Goma. Yet the damage had already been done. With his dying breath, the Deku Tree entrusted Link with the Kokiri Emerald and tasked him to head to Hyrule Castle and meet with the Princess of Destiny. Sneaking past the guards, Link met with Princess Zelda, who revealed her worries that Ganondorf, who bowed before the king at the other side of her window, would soon betray her father, the king, to lay his hands on the Triforce, and with the help of her caretaker, Impa, they formed a plan to stop him. Zelda instructed Link to obtain the remaining 2 spiritual stones kept safe by the other 2 races of Hyrule, in order to prevent Ganondorf from obtaining them himself and claiming the Triforce. Link met with the Gorons of Death Mountain and the Sora of Sora's Domain, both of whom had great troubles caused by Ganondorf after they all refused to hand him their respective spiritual stones. Ganondorf having blocked the entrance to Dodongo's cavern, the primary source of food of the now starving Gorons, and cursing the Sora's patron deity, Lord Jabu Jabu, with the parasitic Barinade, causing him to fall sick and accidentally swallow the Sora princess, Ruto. After aiding the Gorons and the Sora, Link was handed the spiritual stones as a thanks for his aid. The Goron Ruby given to him by the Goron chief Darunia after becoming sworn brothers, and the Sora Sapphire by Princess Ruto, who had fallen in love with the young Hylian, gifting him the spiritual stone as a marriage proposal. With all 3 spiritual stones at hand, Link returned back to Hyrule Castletown, when all of a sudden, Impa and Zelda rushed out on horseback, escaping from Ganondorf, who had taken over Hyrule Castle. Without a moment of doubt, Zelda threw the Ocarina of Time towards Link, before disappearing in the horizon. With the Ocarina of Time and the spiritual stones at hand, Link played the Song of Time within the Temple of Time, which opened the great door leading to the chamber of the legendary blade of Evil's Bane, the Master Sword. By pulling the Master Sword from its pedestal, several things happened that would change the course of history. For starters, as Link was still too young to wield the Master Sword, he was sealed within the Temple of Light at the heart of the Sacred Realm until he was ready to wield it properly, kept in stasis under the watchful eye of Rauru, the Sage of Light. As the Master Sword locked the entrance to the Sacred Realm, by pulling the blade from its pedestal, Link unknowingly gave Ganondorf exactly what he wanted, the Triforce on a silver platter, allowing the Gerudo thief to venture into the Sacred Realm and seize the Triforce for his own. However, as his heart was unbalanced and wicked, the Sacred Realm transformed into the Dark World to reflect his inner darkness, and the Triforce split into 3 pieces which sought those who embodied their respective virtues. The Triforce of Power remained with the power-hungry Ganondorf. The Triforce of Wisdom came into possession of the wise Princess Zelda, and the Triforce of Courage came to rest within the courageous Hero of Time. Link woke up 7 years in the future, being greeted by Rauru, who explained all that had happened in his absence. Ganondorf had obtained the Triforce of Power and taken over Hyrule, the world now in shambles and in a state of ruin. He tasked the awakened hero to find the remaining 5 sages, as only with their help would they be victorious against the evil king. Traveling within 5 temples of Hyrule and smiting the monsters within, Link would rescue the awakened sages from evil. These were Zarya, the Sage of Forest, Darunia, the Sage of Fire, Ruto, the Sage of Water, Impa, the Sage of Shadow, and Naburu, the Sage of Spirits. With the sages freed, Princess Zelda, having been under the guise of a Sheikah named Sheik to evade Ganondorf's grasp, revealed herself to Link as the 7th Sage and wielder of the Triforce of Wisdom. However, the moment she revealed herself, Ganondorf encased her within a crystal and took her to his castle. With the help of the 7 sages, Link was able to enter Ganondorf's castle and confront the evil king. Following Ganondorf's presumed death, the castle began to collapse on itself, forcing Link and Zelda to escape from the crumbling fortress. It was then that Ganondorf emerged from the ruins of the collapsed palace, burning with hatred, transforming himself into the beastly Demon King, Ganon, in a last attempt to end the Hero of Time's life. The outcome of this battle would determine the fate of Hyrule's history. Were Link to fall against Ganon, the Demon King would claim the full Triforce, forcing the 7 sages to seal him away within the Sacred Realm, which would eventually lead to a link to the past in what's known as the Downfall timeline. But Link came out victorious. With the help of Zelda, who held down Ganon with her magic, Link dealt the final blow with the blade of Evil's Bane, defeating the mighty beast. With no time to spare, the sages combined their powers to seal away Ganondorf within the Sacred Realm. With Ganondorf gone, Hyrule knew peace once again, and Zelda, using the Ocarina of Time, sent Link back to his own time in order to regain his lost childhood. In doing this, 2 timelines were created. The timeline the Hero of Time abandoned, known as the Adult Timeline, and the timeline the Hero of Time was sent back to, known as the Child Timeline. Despite leaving the Adult Timeline, the selfless deeds of the Hero of Time passed on into legend. A statue of the Hero of Time was built in his honor, atop the hidden chamber that housed the Master Sword, within the rebuilt Hyrule Castle. It became a tradition for children of Hyrule who came of age to wear green garbs that resembled those of the Hero of Time, as a way to inspire within the hearts of the young adults the same courage possessed by the Hero of Time. This tradition remained in Hyrule long after the Great Flood, despite the kingdom becoming nothing more than a mere legend. The Hero of Time was returned to the time before he pulled the Master Sword on its pedestal, keeping the gates to the Sacred Realm closed. Having served her duty of aiding the hero on his quest to defeat Ganondorf, Navi left the hero's side without an explanation. Link returned to Hyrule Castle and warned Princess Zelda of what Ganondorf would eventually do were he to carry out his evil plans, which led to Ganondorf's eventual capture and failed execution at the hands of the ancient sages of the Arbiter's Grounds. Wanting to find his beloved friend Navi, Link decided to embark on a personal journey to find her, and before his departure, Zelda entrusted Link with the Ocarina of Time in order to keep him safe, and taught him the Song of Time, which would aid him in his long journey. During his search for Navi through the expansive lost woods of Hyrule, Link was ambushed by the mask-wearing Skull Kid and his two faring companions, Tattle and Tail, who would steal his ocarina, riding off on his steed, Epona. Chasing after them, Link fell down a giant hollow tree, landing on a Deku flower that saved his life. It was then that the Skull Kid cursed him into the form of a Deku Scrap, and departed, leaving behind one of his fairy companions, Tattle. With no other choice, Tattle joined Link and chased the Skull Kid into the mysterious parallel world of Termina, a land threatened to be destroyed in 3 days by a crashing moon brought down by the Skull Kid himself. Link and Tattle would meet with the Happy Mask Salesman, a traveling merchant originating from Hyrule who was attempting to retrieve Majora's Mask, the mask the Skull Kid had stolen from him while he traveled the Lost Woods, promising to revert Link back to his alien form were he to return it to him. Confronting the Skull Kid atop the clock tower in the eve of the Carnival of Time, Tail, fearing the Skull Kid was taking things too far, instructed Link and Tattle to find the 4 giants from each of the 4 regions of Termina, as only they would be able to stop the moon from falling. After retrieving his ocarina from the Skull Kid and reverting time back to the dawn of the first day, Link was taught the Song of Healing by the Happy Mask Salesman, which reverted him back to his Hylian form, leaving behind a Deku mask which allowed him to transform back into a Deku at will. By venturing within the 4 temples of each region and defeating the masked demons within, Link successfully rescued the 4 giants and learned the Oath to Order, a melody that would summon the giants when played. On the eve of the Carnival of Time, as the moon was about to fall, Link played the Oath to Order, calling the 4 giants to their aid, halting the descent of the moon. When hope seemed restored, Majora, the evil entity residing within the mask itself, detached itself from the Skull Kid, deeming him no longer useful as a puppet, before retreating to the moon in order to take over it and bring it down itself with its full power. As the giants struggled to keep it in place, Link and Tattle chased after Majora, facing off against the demonic entity within the moon, the fate of Termina resting on his shoulders. After a fearsome battle against the reborn Majora, Link came out victorious, destroying Majora and by extension the moon itself, saving the world of Termina from destruction. After returning the now lifeless mask to the Happy Mask Salesman, Link bid farewell to his new friends and continued his personal quest to find Navi. Hundreds of years after the events of Majora's Mask, the legendary hero returned to Hyrule in the form of a golden wolf, showing himself to the next incarnation of the hero. When the Golden Wolf launched at the green-clad hero, the descendant of the Hero of Time was transported into an ethereal realm, coming face to face with the Hero Shade, the spectral form of the Hero of Time. It is in this realm that the deceased hero taught his successor hidden skills which he regretted not being able to pass on in life. The Hero of Twilight was not just the next incarnation of the hero, but a direct blood descendant of the Hero of Time himself, which meant that he had children later on in his life, and judging by his battle-scarred armor, as well as his missing eye, it's likely that he met his demise in the battlefield, possibly against Ganon himself, prior to his failed execution. But that is a topic I covered on another video. And that was the Hero of Time explained. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of future uploads. Also, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram if you haven't already to stay in touch. This has been SOCIAL, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.